Might Guy should have died in Shippuden, specifically when battling Madara. I may be one of the few that thinks this, but there's many reasons why I believe this to be the case, which I'll outline throughout today's video. And also, in the event of his death, I would also drastically change what follows afterwards within the war. So firstly, I don't think Guy should have been killed for simply shock value alone. I think Might Guy's death would have served a great purpose in the overall plot of the Naruto series going forward. I do believe his death, especially the way it was built up in some of those scenes with the flashbacks from Kakashi's father, plus Rock Lee being there almost in tears, would have made this the big death of the war. I know Neji was the main character chosen to die instead, but in Shippuden, Neji was barely seen at all. He didn't really have any screen time, he didn't have any deep character development, and we didn't really grow as an audience to really care for him any more than we did. So he was basically killed based on the nostalgia we got from part 1. I'm not going to say that I wasn't shocked when Neji died, but I know personally I would have been much more broken up if it was any other character. For example, it could have even been Shikamaru and I would have been way more torn up than Neji due to the backstory we got. So I do think Neji could have survived the stick attack and Might Guy should have sacrificed himself to help defeat Madara, but I don't think he should have been the one to defeat Madara, but I'll explain that bit even more later on in the video. So when it comes to Might Guy not actually dying, one of the few issues I have with this is purely because Might Guy surviving ruins the shock and awe and the stakes of using the 8 gates, as we finally get the backstory as to what will happen if all 8 gates were to be opened. And knowing all of this, Might Guy still decides to go with that course of action, knowing the consequences. This makes this scene much more impactful, especially as it's been explained to us the viewer. We literally still see the battle going ahead, so us the viewer learning this knowledge had us on the edge of our seat wondering when the final 8th gate is going to take its toll and eventually lead to Might Guy's death. So when Naruto shows up and saves him, it really takes away the sacrifice that Might Guy did, and also really does take away some of the stakes, because we know the 8 gates, it's meant to be a total sacrifice kamikaze mission. Now, outside of that, another reason why I think he should have died is pretty simple. What does he really do after this point in the world of Naruto? He doesn't play a major role in anything. He just walks around on his hands or in a wheelchair all day. If they had no plans for his character moving forward, they never needed to save the character's life at all. So personally, I just feel like it would have made more sense just to basically kill the character there and then, whether he's beloved or not. And also, one of the biggest reasons that I think he probably could have actually died is simply because we all know, just like Rock Lee, Might Guy was initially a talentless shinobi with no real ninjutsu skills, so he had to train really hard to gain the stature he actually has within the series. So having a character with this background makes such an impactful move on the plot and would be fitting given the premise of the whole series being about hard work can overcome talent, friendship, love, and a shinobi's duty to protect. Now, in regards to the war arc plot, my plan would be, yes, it would have resulted in Might Guy's death, but not actually killing Madara in that final attack, but I'd still want his death to have meaning. So I wouldn't have written Madara to fully recover from the attack. I would have made it so Might Guy's sacrifice significantly weakened Madara to the point where it allowed for Sasuke, Naruto, and the rest of the squad to defeat him. So in this scenario, I would scrap the whole Zetsu and Kaguya mess and just have the final massive attack from Might Guy to be the necessary edge the team needed to take down Madara for good. This would allow everyone to respect and acknowledge that if it wasn't for Guy's sacrifice, they wouldn't have been able to win, and also kept the prestige of the 8 gates intact, because he would have ultimately sacrificed himself. It would almost be like an homage to his own dad, like he did the same sacrifice and understood the same circumstances which led to his dad giving up his own life, so he could do the same for Lee and the rest of the shinobi world. I feel like it would have been a very, very good end to the character of Might Guy, and would have definitely preserved the stature of the character, because when you see him now going forward at the end of Naruto or in Boruto, it just seems like a former shadow of yourself. So actually having Guy contribute so highly within the war, especially at the last moment, it would have definitely made the character go out on an extreme high.
Now's the time. Open 8 inner gate formation!
But overall, that's just my thoughts on how I think it should have played out. Let me know what you would have done within the war. And also let me know, do you actually enjoy the Kaguya and Zetsu mess? But in regards to Might Guy, do you think he should have survived? Or do you think they probably should have killed him off and just preserved him as a really dope character, rather than what they've kind of done with him at the end of the series? Anyways, thanks for watching the video. Subscribe to this small channel if you're brand new here. And anyways, I'll see you in a new video.